Welcome to the 110th episode of the Nerdom and Other Nonsense Anime Podcast. Today we're going to be breaking down all the anime that aired during the 10th week of the summer 2019 season. As always, we include timestamps in the description of the YouTube video and the podcast feed if you only want to hear about one or two specific shows we're talking about, since we're going to spoil literally everything. My name is Bcom, and after finally watching Hot Rod, I have taken to the therapy of punch dancing my anger out in the woods. Cool beans. Also with me are Kat and Leo.
Hey.
Cool.
How's it going, guys?
Now you understand it when I do that now.
Yeah. Hot Rod Group Watch was a hell of a fun time.
It was fun as hell.
Several listeners come out and watch with us. It was good times. It was very ridiculous.
And I ditched you for sleep.
You did.
Expected.
I will say, though, you laughed almost the entire fucking time, Bcom.
Yeah, no, that movie is ridiculous in a way that, like, man, I like Ian McShane in that movie, like, literally kills me. I fucking love Ian McShane, and just how they got him to be in that movie, I'll never know, but he had such a good time being in that movie and, like, wanting to beat the shit out of Andy Samberg's character.
You could tell that, like, he was actually enjoying himself, because he's like, he doesn't play like ridiculous roles. All his roles are serious, so he finally got to play a goofy character for once.
Mm-hmm. He had a really good
favorite
time.
Scene?
Favorite scene? God, I don't know. I mean, the finale, like the big climax, is really good.
Got some favorite quotes or something? Because this movie is quoted so fucking much.
I will be honest, and I've already forgotten every line from the movie, Leo. I don't
Damn,
remember
you just have
anything.
to watch it 20 times like I have.
Yeah, if I watched it 20 times, I might remember some stuff, but like I don't remember anything. I just remember having a really good time watching it.
Cool.
I watched another movie this week. It was an anime movie that we're getting into our non-sex section now. It's called Blackfox.
Oh, yeah. It looked decent. I've only seen the trailer.
And I didn't even have to go to movie theaters to see it because Crunchyroll put it out streaming for everybody to watch.
How long was it?
An hour and a half, exactly. It's
Okay.
like pretty short.
That's not bad.
Just like Hot Rod. Hot Rod's a little shorter than that, actually. But yeah, Blackfox is from Studio 3 Hertz, who made, Princess Principal, Flip Flappers, and like the Sword Art Online, like Gun Gale Online, cute girl with the pink P90 show. So it's got like a cute little girl as the main character, and she is like the descendant of a ninja family. And she has like a grandfather who's like a hardcore ninja and is very about like teaching her like, hey, you're gonna have to kill somebody someday. You need to get used to like killing people. And she's like, no, I always use the back of my katana so I don't kill anyone because I don't like killing people. Because her father is like a pacifist and is like the complete opposite of the grandfather. And like did not take on the mantle of this ninja family, and so it's like passed down to her instead. And so, long story short, bad things happen to her family, and then she has to go on like a John Wick revenge style thing.
Good description there.
And like she inherits from her father like these like metallic like robot animals that he programmed to be like very humane. Like a dog and like a chipmunk and like a hawk or an eagle is like I think the third one. And they're sort of her sidekicks as she tracks down the people who like did bad stuff to her family and finds some friends along the way that have their own problems. One of the best people in this movie is her roommate, who's named Melissa, who is adorable and is just like completely overwhelmed by everything that's happening, but like is great. But yeah, it's like, I'll say it's just like a pretty simplistic movie overall. It's not like that great. I wouldn't say like go rush to watch it. It's just like a kind of a fun short time. They very much set up for a sequel at the end of it. So there should be more of this coming at some point, probably. And the only other thing that was kind of bad about it was like I didn't think there was some CG stuff in this movie that I didn't think blended too well with like the 2D anime that they were doing. But beyond that, it's like a decent time. It's like a fun time. Decent movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you next, Kat?
Okay, so I didn't have any nonsense, and then yesterday went over to my friend's was hanging out, was about to leave. This like fucking kitten on the porch was like a badass. Because okay, my friend, she has a dog that's like one of those really aggressive dogs toward cats. Like she's killed a cat before, so she's like and like freaking out at the door because they have like a glass door.
Jesus.
And then she's like and then vicious, and like this fucking dog has killed a cat. All right, and a very sweet dog to people, just not a dog you want around cats. And this kitten just like walks as far close to the fucking glass window as he possibly can, and just like stares at the dog like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" And is like being a total ballsy badass, and like I ain't afraid of shit. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this cat!" And it's like so friendly to me, and it's like cuddly, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's adorable. I can't." And so when I was leaving, I was like, "You're so cute." And it just hopped right into my arms. And I was like, "Do you want to come in my car?" And it was like, "Yes, I do." And so now I have another cat.
So Cat just stole somebody's cat.
No, because my friend said it's been on her porch for like 3 weeks.
Huh.
So it's not anyone's then. Like,
I mean,
nobody has.
It could still be, like, but you'd have to, like, look for, like, missing wanted posters. It's likely that it's not, though, at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to take it to the vet and get it checked for microchips.
Okay.
Just to make sure. But, like, I just don't think that someone would have that small of a kitten out, like, you know, all the time.
It could have escaped from, like, a litter or something, or I don't know.
But yeah, I'm going to get it checked just in case.
Okay.
And
Cool.
He's awesome. my dog's like, "What the fuck is this? I like it, but I'm terrified."
Yeah, you posted some pictures on the Discord, and it's just hilarious how, like, the cat's just like curled up like right next to the dog, which is like that speaks to how much this cat does not give a fuck, because it's like already like just curling up next to a huge husky dog.
Yeah.
And Ruby, your husky, is just like, "What's going on?"
She's like, she's got like her head pulled back a little bit, and like staring at it, like, "What the fuck?"
She's actually a little frightened of this cat. I think this cat is like maybe 2 pounds or something. It's like the tiniest little kitten. My dog is terrified. My dog usually will like follow me from room to room. If this kitten is in the doorway, my dog will look at the kitten and be like, "I don't know. I don't think I can walk around it." I'm like, "It's tiny. It's not going to do shit to you."
Maybe it recognizes the total badassness coming off of it.
I don't know. A lot of times, like, if a dog tries to walk past a cat in a doorway, the cat will just like wait there and then like bat the dog on the side of the head as it goes by, and like.
I mean, but she's never had that reaction with Tux. Like, she's never been afraid of Tux like that.
Yeah,
and she's just.
But she knows Tux is a pushover, so.
Yeah,
Pretty
Tux
much,
is like a suburban raised cat. This is a street cat. Like, coming in there, it's got
Tux
street
started out as a
smarts.
street cat, but like they're good
He started out
friends.
as a dumpster cat.
Yeah, they're
That's
good
true.
friends. But like this cat's like, "I ain't taking your shit, dog," and my dog's just like, "Okay." Ruby.
See, yeah, there she is.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm not
like
taking
I
no
said, I
shit.
don't know. She's interested. It's an interesting dynamic for sure. Tux is like not having any of it. Tux is just like, "I'm avoiding you."
Yeah, when you post that in the chat, like one of my first thoughts were, "Oh, great, another animal to fucking sidetrack us from recording the podcast." The listeners have no idea how many times we've recorded, and Bcom's had to cut this out, that we're sitting here, one of us or any of us is talking, and suddenly you just hear Kat go, "No, Ruby, no!" And she runs away from the mic, and then Bcom and I just have to like sit here and just be like, "All right, I guess we wait."
I occasionally cut that out and occasionally leave it in, so I think the listeners are a little bit used to it too.
Okay, cool.
What'd you do this week, Leo?
I took you on your first raid after coming back from D2. You joined the clan and everything.
Yeah,
Potato and friends.
No fries.
It's fries because something is wrong and like it's cutting the name off. We don't know what's up with it. It's really weird. So it looks like potato and fry, but it's actually potato and friends. Yeah, and you got to meet Topaz and Man Myth, who are basically our two biggest guys in the clan.
Yeah, and Mammoth was the guy in our clan was an awesome raid instructor. Like he at the beginning of every encounter, he just basically went through like everything I needed to know in a really precise way while Leo and other people were like cackling in the background doing other shit and talking over him. And he never once lost his shit. And like I was very impressed because like back in the day there were a couple raids like that where I was the person explaining everything. And I would get so upset if people were like talking over. But like
well,
no,
we were
like,
also helping because like he would, you know, he maybe a skip part and we'd be like, oh yeah, but you got to do this too. And he's like, oh yeah, fuck. Yeah, Mammoth's really good at explaining the raids. That was my first experience too with him when he explained it to me. I was like, damn, this guy's good. I have only ever seen him once get annoyed with somebody. And this dude had it coming. We had to pick up some extras to play. And this one guy brought his friend. And his friend was so fucking toxic. Like, toxic.
Yeah.
He awful. He was saying shit. He was constantly talking over people. He just even sucked as a player. And like what really pissed us off was like the guy initially invited him that he said was his friend. He walked away and this kid's just starts immediately talking shit about this guy and about how fucking ugly his girlfriend is, but he fucked her anyways. And we were
oh shit, what
just
the hell?
like collectively our silence was like, dude, fuck this kid. And then he was like, man, you know, it'd be funny if I was in charge, you know, I'd like get ready to do something and I boot somebody from it, which we ended up fucking doing when we got to the final boss. Like it was just sitting there. We were sitting there and then Mammoth was just like, I'm fucking doing it. And boop. We're like, God, that kid was awful.
Yeah, you got to do it sometimes.
That was the only time. And it was totally needed to be done. That kid was awful. I don't know why that one guy called him a friend, and the other guy was nice. Yeah. I don't know. Do not know what that was about. But yeah, Mammoth is great, and Topaz is just like he's a huge damage dealer. Like we actually ended up beating that boss in one go at the end. But if we had all wiped and you had seen the numbers, you would have seen he had like 1 million damage points on us, and we to this day still don't know how he does it.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And the raid that we did was the Scourge of the Past raid, which is not the newest one, but it's like really short and sweet and like fairly easy once you know what to do. And like I really appreciated that because a lot of the early raids in Destiny 2, I was just like, I think this is too hard. Like like to be fun for people to just like casually play. And I was like, I want something that's easier and more bite sized, and this is basically what that is. So.
Do you remember how long it took us?
I mean, a lot of it was just explaining, but to actually like execute the stuff, like we had to do the first encounter several times, but the next few besides the fucking like Sparrow run, which we all kept exploding, the last two encounters we did like in one or two tries.
Usually the Sparrow run, usually Topaz, Mammoth, or I always make it to the end. We just because like if you notice, sometimes your Sparrow will just get hung up on something you can't see on the screen, and we just had a bad luck that run. But
yeah,
that one's like you said, the raid's just kind of nice, short and sweet, and once you get it, like if we go in with a full crew that everybody already knows what to do, we'll do it in 30 to 40 minutes and just one try everything. No, and that's why we keep farming it, because we want that damn anarchy gun.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's such a bad drop rate for
that's like the grenade launcher or something. Anarchy?
No, it's the one. It shoots these like little mines on the ground, and then they connect with electricity in between them.
Oh, weird.
They do a ton of damage. Yeah, so like you'll shoot like a triangle around the guy, and it will just start melting him.
Wait, so what kind of gun is it then? It's not a grenade launcher?
It's an exotic. It does arc.
I'm pretty sure it's a grenade launcher, because I was
looking
looking
at grenade
at
launcher. I would have to see because but it shoots like a sticky mine. Is what it really does. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Otherwise, like Destiny 2 continuing to level up. I really like the Vex offensive stuff that opened up after that people beat the raid. I think it's really fun. It's a little bit repetitive, and there's only one map, so I hope they add to it. But it's a really good way to just get like a lot of good gear really quickly, and like it's basically like, you know, a 6-man strike.
What about the nightmare stuff?
Nightmare hunts are boring as hell, in my opinion.
Really? Because they're not really any different than the Vex stuff.
I find the Vex stuff to be more interesting because of like the added mechanics with like picking up those like crystal laser guns or whatever.
Oh, and taking out a shield.
Yeah, so there's like a little bit more strategy to it, whereas the Nightmare Hunts is just like stuff we played through already in the missions themselves.
You would like the Menagerie, then. You haven't done that yet.
I haven't done that yet, so I should.
Yeah, it's a really mechanic heavy if you want to get through as quick as possible.
But generally, Destiny 2 continues to be pretty good.
All right, now we need to revive Kat because we've killed her with Gamer Talk.
Kat, do you like Christmas?
Christmas?
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas? I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
What? What's weird?
What? What and where do you get
whiskey?
All right, yeah. Let's talk about Dumbbells, Kat. You got this episode.
Okay. Episode 10. Do you like Christmas? Apparently they don't. Okay. I'm just saying, apparently,
the
no,
end.
they don't.
Like, that's it. That's the episode synopsis.
So,
apparently no. The end.
It's Christmas and the girls go to see some like decorative fucking lights that a bunch of couples go and see. And of course, none of them are in couples. So there's like all these implications of failure because none of them are dating anyone. And that's the only standard of success that Japan has for young women, don't you know?
Well, I just saw a new article today that the Japan's birth rate is lower than it was even projected.
What's fucking new? Why do they keep putting out these bulletins? Everyone knows what it's gonna say.
Yeah,
why
but
don't
they're
they
like,
just say
this
like,
is worse than what we predicted. God damn.
Why don't they just say like, all right, we know it's going to be bad. We know the birth rate is going to be low. Let's put out one of these articles a fucking year. We can all be sad about it for a week. And then let's move on with our lives because it's always the same. It's always a low birth rate. There's never like a study that comes out that's like, Japan's birth rate went up. We're all shocked. Like, what's new?
Oh man, maybe after this show though, because people are going to go to the gym and they're going to get hot, and then the guys will all have girlfriends. As we see later in this episode.
You know, they just need to start spraying some like sex hormones in the air.
Some pheromones into the air. You mean?
Interesting.
Yes. They just need to be like, get down to fuck.
Today, all of Japan evolved into one giant orgy.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to. It just would be some handmade shit if they tried to do something about it. Really, the only thing they can do that's ethical about it is just like make it so the workers don't have to kill themselves every day.
Give people more leisure time. Yeah.
Well, in the article, they were also talking about they're giving more incentives for women who get pregnant at work, take more time off and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, because I know in the U.S., like, that shit is not encouraged. Like, you're pretty much fucked if you get pregnant in the U.S.
Yep.
When you're working. And it's pretty much the same in Japan. So, like, can't blame people when they're going to get penalized,
And when you get sick, you're like, do I stay home and suffer or go to the hospital and pay lots of money?
Yeah, that too in the U.S.
Okay, we're not talking about healthcare and shit. Let's move on.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. So anyway, Machio cheers them up from this sad fact of life that they're all single, by telling them that there's a gym Christmas party and how hot guys are going to be there from college or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, okay, that's great. And then everyone's surprised that Akimi also is interested in a boyfriend, but she's like a total musclehead. So of course she's interested in like a gym boyfriend.
Well, what'd she say? She's like, I'm a high school girl. Of course I am.
She just wants some dude who's hot, like has pecs or whatever. So as we learn later.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I love this the most. So like it just has all of these things of Hibiki just eating shit, like eating all the winter shit that like there is in Japan to eat. And she's rebounded and she's like been pigging out, and so she's gained all this weight. And she talks about how she's most worried about arm flab. And I'm like, girl, just don't eat that shit. That's not what you should. I don't know. But Machio does give them a good lecture, though. And I did not know this, how triceps are actually higher, like bigger than biceps.
Yeah. Or at least they can be, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not. I always thought they were smaller. And I guess that's like what you should work on if you have the bat wings that all girls seem to have.
Bat wings.
Do some
I mean, that's
triceps.
what they're called. Yeah. So he shows them this thing called skull crushers, which I was like, I don't know. This looks like something that I would hurt myself with. And just as I say that, Hibiki literally fucking hurts herself. And I was like, yep.
You can do the exact same exercise, but with dumbbells and not have to worry about fucking smashing your face in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think it's
just
a little bit
hold them in
easier,
a hammer
though.
position. Yeah, it's a little bit easier with the bar.
Yeah. I did these in high school for tricep workouts for pitching in baseball. So I remember them well.
Yeah. But I've never done this shit. But I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it. They all go to the Christmas party. And that one teacher does cosplay too. But she does one with like a whip. Yeah.
Oh, she does like a BDSM character.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, don't. But okay. All right. I'm going to take a pause here and just put the cat in the other room so that my dog doesn't have like a fit trying to play with her.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you can hear him.
This was not predictable.
Hey.
No, we didn't predict this at all.
I know. You know what to make of it. No, it's not your toy. It's an animal.
Pretty sure the cat could take care of itself.
Oh, do you hear PS5 details got announced a little bit?
I saw it was Holiday 2020, but that was kind of to be expected.
And they talked a little bit about a new controller that has some like new features, which is kind of interesting.
Did they talk about specs or anything?
No. They're still holding back on that. But they have talked about in the past like how it's going to have like an SSD instead of a normal hard drive, but to match like the new Xbox. And
yeah, that I expected. What were these features on the controller?
Well, so first of all, it has USB-C, which is nice. It has, instead of just like normal rumble, it's going for a more like, you know how like the Switch has like what they call HD rumble?
Nope.
Which is, it's really more like haptic feedback like cell phones have, where you can change the type of rumble you're feeling.
Okay.
So they're doing that so that game developers can customize the rumble they feel a little bit more.
A lot of the people I talk to always turn the rumble off because they're like, it's just a distraction.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Yeah. And then there was something else, and I can't remember. There's like longer battery life, stuff like that. Oh, something with the triggers. I can't remember what it was, though. But yeah.
Trigger locks?
No, it wasn't that. It was something... I think it was something so developers could make the triggers... they could adjust the tension on the fly through software. So they could make it harder for a player to push down on a trigger or lighter based on, like, context. Which is kind of cool, actually.
Huh.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting idea. So, like, if you really need to, like, push on something, the trigger will become, like, harder to push. Which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, the cat's back.
Yes. Sorry.
That's
Okay.
okay.
But you could definitely hear her, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was time. Okay. Yeah. So they all, I don't know. I was kind of, I'm going to just start talking about the costume again.
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like the appropriate time to have like that costume on. I mean, I love it. Maybe not the correct kind of party to take that costume to. I have the kind of party that she could take that costume to.
And the kind of costume, probably, also.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, that's not the one. But yeah, so there are a lot of hot guys there, and I mean they seem happy, but then they actually don't get anyone's number. Like they talk to all these dudes, then they don't go in for the kill. Lame. Like what's the point if you're gonna flirt if you don't go for it and like make it obvious? Like I'm interested in you.
They're a little shy.
Ugh, a little.
Very.
Yeah. But anyway. So Akemi does seem interested in Machio, which is a new development.
I mean, she's always been interested in muscles, and I don't know. Like,
Why
I guess
not
it
be
makes
interested in
sense.
Top Dog
his
number one?
muscles
Yeah.
in particular. Like,
Yeah.
she's always interested in all muscular guys, but
Yeah.
this is a little different. It's interesting. There's a giveaway at the end of the party, and the main prize is like 2 tickets to Disneyland.
Well, it's technically Tochigi Destiny Land.
That's what they mean. They mean like Disneyland. You know they do.
But they make that joke where they're like, oh yeah, it started in Japan and it has branches in Florida, like Paris. And I was like, oh, that's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. And then I don't know, I do like the way Machio announces the winners, but I did wonder, like, so he bursts his suit off piece by piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I did wonder, like, isn't that suit expensive? Because, like, men's suits are usually $300 or $400. If you
Well, he goes through like 2 or 3 track suits an episode,
Yeah,
so he
his
must be like
costume,
rolling.
his wardrobe budget is off the charts. Like, let's be honest here.
I mean, I'm just saying that's an expensive suit that he just fucked up. I don't know. At this point, Akemi comes in and points out that the poses are a type of training in and of themselves and are a type of isometric exercise. So that means like holding in place, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't really think this was like true. And I tried to do some of the poses that they did. And I was like, oh, that actually like worked out my arm a little bit. I guess it could be kind of effective.
Yeah, it could be, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I tried and I did not.
Oh, yeah. I think it depends like how long you do it and like how intense you are about like holding that pose and like squeezing your muscles really tight. But it's obviously going to be better just to do like normal exercise than just pose.
Just lifting a weight's going to do so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that'd be hilarious if somebody was like, I lost 100 pounds by posing every day. Like, and correct diet. Like, it'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, I tried it. It did not work for me. Apparently it works for some people. So I don't know. They take a picture with all the winners. You find out that Satomi wins the tickets, but she can't actually go because she's doing a cosplay. Which, okay, I'm going to give away part of the plot here because this confused me.
Mm-hmm.
She can't go because she's doing a cosplay. But then at Disneyland, there is a cosplay event.
Oh, okay. Oh, so she can't be going with someone because they would know then that she's cosplaying.
Well, but then she doesn't actually cosplay because she goes and follows them.
Wait,
Yeah.
Satomi does? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah, she is part of that crew, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
It's a big plot hole.
Giant plot hole. Okay, I'm just putting that out because that pissed me off. I was like, that's bullshit. So anyway, Akemi decides she wants to go instead with Machio. So basically the whole show has set this up so that Akemi
to make
can
that
go with
weirder,
Machio.
Ayaka is the one who doesn't go because she's training with her family, and that has like nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that also just felt like a manga chapter that got skipped or something.
Like, no,
when they were like, "Oh, by the way, Ayaka's
happened.
over here." It's like, what? That's weird to include, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, they all follow Machio and Akemi as they go on this date. And everyone's like, we're going to spy on them. And it's all very stereotypical because everyone's seen an anime episode where a bunch of everyone else spies on 2 people on a date. So it's just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's very normal. Suddenly they go into this tent together and the rest of them are like, are they going to fuck? And I'm like, no. No. And they find out there's a cosplay event and they wanted to go so they could take part and they were changing. But then I thought to myself, but then weren't you both naked in front of each other in the tent to change?
Sure.
Maybe there's just like some off-screen partition you didn't see.
Sure. I'm just saying. And I mean, they almost talk about how Akemi only was here because she wanted to see his pecs in cosplay, and she rants on about how hot his chest is in cosplay and how, it's different if it's in different, positions or whatever. And I'm just like, you sound like an old man. She kind of does. And then Machio explains that an incline bench targets the center of your chest instead of your upper chest, and like
other way
that's
around.
a good way to get.
It targets your upper chest.
Confused.
Yeah,
Then
well,
how would it make
they
your
literally say it
chest
targets
bigger?
the center upper part of your chest or something like that. Whereas,
But that's so confusing because, like, what? I I don't know. Then they say it's gonna make your boobs bigger, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
it says
that's
it
a
can
lie.
increase your bust.
I was like, that's a lie.
I mean,
I
Not
it
really.
could make them look bigger by forcing them forward with more muscle. But yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not physically.
As long as you aren't losing too much fat at the same time, like it would work.
Which you will. Which you will.
I don't know. Maybe. Just eat
I
more.
don't
You just got to eat more. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Just do the hibiki diet, which is eat all of the freaking winter like oden in Japan.
Yeah. And then they did do a cute little skit where like Satomi gets separated and she's wearing the school uniform. So she's a teacher wearing a student's school uniform around this park.
And why is
she's
she
like-
doing it? She's doing it because, like,
Because she can and she's stupid. They don't even give you a reason why. That's another thing. That they're like, we're going to put her in a school uniform. We're not going to say why. She just did it. This show sometimes does things and I'm like, that was dumb. But she does. And she's like, I would die if someone saw me. And then, of course, she sees another homeroom teacher, Aina, doing the same fucking thing. And I'm just like, why are you both here? Being weird. And they're like, we're never going to talk about this. And they don't.
Well, the whole thing is like, yeah, people are wearing like schoolgirl uniforms around Disney, and so they like feel they have to wear them to fit in. It's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, and then they do the poses at the end as like their little workout of the day.
Yeah, it was
And
fun.
I mean, and then I don't know. He says something about how if you don't have a mirror, you should do it in the bath. And I'm like, why in the bath?
Because you're naked there anyway. You can like see all your muscles. I don't know.
But you can't see them just because you're naked.
Well, if you got a mirror. Oh wait. They say you don't
No,
have a mirror.
everyone has a mirror in your bathroom.
So I don't know what they meant then.
Maybe in Japan there are like more mirrors in the bathroom.
I don't know. I have a mirror in my bathroom.
I mean, like up by the sink.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like
not
by
by
where you're taking
not
a
by
bath.
the freaking thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This episode
That's-
was like, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was not great. It was not great.
Yeah, didn't love it. There's been better episodes. And hopefully there'll be more better episodes to come.
okay. Maidens in Your Savage Season, Episode 10, Holes.
Now, when I read that title, I was like, oh my god. What's
Holes,
happening?
all the holes.
Oh god.
We open with Kazusa hilariously looking up sexy underwear, and she's just like overwhelmed by like how some of it barely covers anything. She's like, this one has a hole in it, right where the important part is. I was like, oh boy. Rika realizes people aren't always what they appear, talking specifically about Jujo and Shun. She then sees Hitoha getting into Tomoaki's car and runs over to investigate. And that's when she finds Hitoha's underwear in the trash, and like she hails a cab to follow them.
Yeah, because she knows something unsavory is about to go down.
Oh boy, yeah. She's like, this can't be good. She's with a teacher outside school. This is not right.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to Nina forcing Izumi to grab her butt. He mans up though and gets off the train to get away from her. She follows him. And her next attempt is to tell Izumi to practice touching on her since him and Kazusa are inexperienced. And like he's like seriously debating himself about this. And then like a train pulls up and it kind of snaps him out of it.
I like his
He's like-
initial reaction that he was like angry at her though for putting him in that situation, like
Yeah.
which was unfair. Like, and yeah. But then she continues to seduce him and he's like, I don't know, fuck.
Yeah, he's eventually just like, no, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to practice on you. And then like Nina passes him to get on the other train and says, you got so hard though. And he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
That like when I saw this, I like, and Izumi's so troubled. I want to sit down with him and like, this is a totally fine reaction.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be okay. What's weird, she also had this odd smile on her face. I wasn't sure really what it meant.
So I had an idea about that. Like, so I feel like she's smiling to cover up like how embarrassed she is that he just turned her down. Because I don't think she's ever heard somebody ever say, I don't want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
And like, especially after provoking someone as much as she just provoked him. And so that smile that she gives is more of like a snide one to sort of get back at him, saying like, oh yeah, then why were you so fucking hard? Because we see in subsequent scenes that like she's pretty devastated by that whole interaction that she just
Yeah.
had with him. Like she doesn't feel good about it.
See, I wasn't sure until I saw the later scenes, and then I was like, okay, I get what the smile was about.
Yeah.
Then we go to Momoko, who is straight up playing Tekken at an arcade.
Hell yeah. Best girl.
And she goes, I think she's my favorite now too. Not because of that, but she's cool. I like Joju too, but she's not a main character. And she has this line where she goes, "I think I realize what I am," and you're just like, "Oh, okay." She then immediately sends a text to Nina asking to talk to her, and then she gets a text from Chad asking to talk to her, and she comments, "That looks familiar." I just kind of laughed. I was like, a little similar, I guess. So while Hitoha and Teach are cruising for a love hotel, Hitoha devises a plan to grab his hand and touch her taco at the next red light.
Her taco, oh my god.
At first, she just wanted writing material from him, and at like some point, it like turned into a crush, and she realizes all this, and like she just kind of wants to get back at him now because he's always smug about everything and like ruins her plans and stuff. But they never end up at a red light, and they make their way to like the cheapest hotel he could find. She's like, shit.
He's gonna take my virginity at the cheapest hotel.
Yeah, that's what she literally says. Rika and Shun have a quick cute scene where Shun is uncomfortable standing among all the love hotels because he's like, it's making me think of weird things when all he wants to do is treat Rika right, and she just swoons over him.
They are adorable.
Yeah, they're the best.
Hito ends up going into the bathroom and frantically searches the internet for like a technique she can impress Tomoaki with.
This
like,
was so depressing to me.
Yeah.
And sad.
Yeah.
The searching the internet thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, how come?
Yeah.
Why was it specifically depressing in your mind?
It felt very desperate, and like my whole life revolves around making that, like pulling something out my ass at this moment because my whole worth is if I can make this dude like feel good,
impress him,
and also
something.
like she's not confident in herself to just like pull it off. Like she needs some trick or some technique to make it work. Yeah.
It just smelled so badly of desperation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And outside the bathroom, Tomoaki is thinking of ways to discourage her from doing anything. And like at this point, I'm like, so at least we know he never had any intention of doing anything with her. Like he's just like trying to help her along, but like discourage her from even trying anything in the same way. Who knows? She's blackmailed him into this situation, kind of.
I like how his whole plan is like, oh, I should have told her not to take a bath because like high school girls are afraid of being told that they smell bad. And so if I just tell her she smells bad, maybe she'll fuck off. Like that's his like big plan. It's hilarious. And
then honestly, I was kind of, since he's been blackmailed into the situation and he really literally has no intentions of doing anything with her, he's just only thinking of ways to not do anything. I think I forgive the earlier stuff because he's been forced into the situation.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem so disgusting, but it's still super disgusting with that goddamn actor teacher. Ugh.
Oh yeah, well that stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's still a whole bad. But then suddenly Hitoha comes bursting out of the bathroom, jumps on him in like the 69 position, and he's like starting to panic, and she's panicking as she's like hastily undoing his pants. And then when she finally gets him undone, she sees that he's not hard at all, and she's like, "Why are you not hard? Do you not like me? Why am I so different from what that one teacher is? It's because I'm like flat as a board." And she goes on and on. And finally he's like, "I don't find you disgusting." And he just kind of reassures her. And he's like, "It's because I'm a coward." And then she kind of breaks down and kind of leans into him and cries. And it's okay. It's an okay moment. But like when she's doing that, I'm like, pants are still fucking undone, dude.
Well, yeah, but like the other thing was that like everything happened so fast that like he barely had any opportunity to get it up. Like before she just like freaked out. Like he had no time to like react to what was even happening. And so it makes sense that he wouldn't, but like I'm glad that he diffused the whole situation, saying like, "Hey, this problem is all about me. It's not about you. Like, there's nothing wrong with you."
Yeah. She feels pretty inferior to other women, really, from what she says.
Yeah, like her whole like coming of age is trying to understand like her womanhood and like how she gets along and like how her other classmates are doing it, and try to understand herself basically. And she's going a real roundabout route, but she's getting there.
So Momoko meets up with Chad, and well, he's being Chad.
Fucking Chad.
he's calling her a slut and that women are always so emotional, blah, 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 blah. And like Momoko isn't having any of this and starts to walk away. And Chad like grabs her wrist and she kind of like panics and screams at him not to touch her. And then he calls her crazy and she's just kind of shook by this. Like, am I actually crazy? I don't know. Because she's still warring with her feelings about Nina.
Yeah.
So Nina has taken Izumi's rejection pretty hard and like walks on the street with a bunch of bars with the sole intention of like some guy to call out to her because she's like, it always does, but it's not happening tonight. And she's like, am I ugly? She's just having one hell of a crisis on her mind. Mm-hmm. She never answered Momoko's text. So Momoko calls her and tells Nina she wants her to touch a spot on her where Chad grabbed her wrist and she feels dirty and it'll feel like it'll cleanse her. And she's like, she doesn't care that Nina's another woman. And she finally admits that she's in love with Nina. And Nina's just like, she almost shuts down. She has no idea. She's like, finally, I got somebody to say they love me and they like me and they want me. But it's another woman. And she literally falls to her knees and like curls up to a ball and just cries. And after they hang up, Momoko feels like she's possibly ruined the relationship. So she cries too. And she's really worried about that. And finally, we need to lighten things up a little bit. So we go back to Kazusa, who's finally found the pair of sexy underwear she likes, and suddenly gets a call from Izumi. He just wanted to tell her he loved her. Basically, he seemed like he was doing it to reassure himself after his encounter with Nina. And then, like, it's kind of funny because when she ends the call, she noticed that the underwear had that hole in that one important part. She's like, no, cancel. And
Maybe
then, like,
I could sew it together, she says.
She's like, I'll just sew it together.
You're not going to fucking sew it together.
And then next morning, Kazusa is confused when Izumi doesn't want to hold hands as they walk to school. She just finds it. She's like, what?
Oh, no, doesn't he say, like, they might see or something?
Well, the neighbors. He's worried about the neighbors,
he's worried about
and
the
I'm
neighbors.
Like, yeah, that's what happens when you're dating someone.
Yeah.
People fucking see.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, like, he's having some, like, I think he's really worried that he had a reaction to Nina. And like, that's like I said, this is when I sit down, I'm like, you can and you will still find other women hot and desire them. But you can still have a girlfriend and love her and not do anything with them. This is 100% normal, man. It's okay. So there's an after credit scene and we find out Rika couldn't sleep because she got so worked up by Shun just like holding her hand when they were at the red light district or whatever. Mm-hmm. She also finds some cookies in her desk as a thank you from Jujo for helping her find that book. And then the teacher suddenly comes in with an announcement. Jujo is dropping out. And I immediately... please tell me you guys predicted the reason why.
Well, I didn't understand what was happening until he said, like, oh, she's dropping out. And then there wasn't much time.
That's what I mean. He goes, Jujo's dropping out, and I might as well just go ahead and tell you guys, just like curb rumors. And I was like, oh, she's pregnant.
So there wasn't much time in between until he actually said it. So I didn't like think about like what the reason why. I just waited. And so, but yeah, it makes sense given that like she's been talking about having sex with her boyfriend and
yeah,
she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. And yeah, makes sense.
Kat, did you find it predictable or just not really that surprised?
I wasn't that. I mean, I was surprised that Izumi is being such a shithead, but everything else was pretty obvious.
Well, why do you think he's being a shithead? Just because he can't make up his mind about what he wants, or what?
I think it's confusion on his part, and then men tend to be assholes when they're confused because they don't want to talk about their feelings.
Okay.
That's fair, because yeah, he's talking about his feelings with Nina, but he's not talking about them with Kazusa, and that's obviously a problem.
Yeah, I really do think that's what it is. I think dudes just don't have the emotional intelligence to even think about their own feelings, let alone talk about them with someone else, especially when they're teenagers.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I like that Jujo left cookies for Rika. She's a good friend.
So she also wrote bye-bye at the bottom.
Yeah, like bye-bye. Bye-bye, I'm pregnant. there was some progress with Momoko this episode. She kind of is coming around to like what she wants, and she actually confessed to Nina. Unfortunately,
she's and at the same time also realized that she kind of likes women.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, Nina is in no fucking state right now to respond to this in any kind of like reasonable way.
Which is why she completely fucking shuts down.
Yeah. I also was just kind of like kind of smiling that they kept using that huge blood moon, like blood red moon throughout this episode as like a symbolism of like shit's hitting the fan and holes and like, women. Yeah. That was interesting. But I think basically this show just needs to wrap up like Izumi and Nina and Kazusa's feelings. Hitaha and Yamagishi, I think they're pretty much done now.
Yeah, there's kind of wrapped up for the most part. They could probably put a nice bow on it and tie it up, but that's about it.
Yeah. And Rika and Shun, they're pretty much done. And so it's just like the love triangle and Momoko, who hopefully doesn't get fucked over.
Yep. Kat, do you have a favorite girl?
I think I still like Nina best. Honestly.
She's very interesting as a character, at least. Like,
yeah.
Even if she is, like you were saying, Izumi was being an asshole. I think Nina was being an unbelievable asshole this episode.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was totally being a total bitch.
Yeah.
She wasn't being an asshole. She was being a bitch. I think my second favorite would probably be Hongo.
Oh, yeah?
I like her a lot. She reminds me of me when I was a teenager in some ways.
Oh, interesting.
Well, because, like, I had that moment of, like, I'm just going to do what I fucking want. Like, even if I'm fucking terrified. Like, that kind of attitude reminds me of how I was. And she's very cute and, like, innocent in some ways and very bold in other ways. I like her.
Yeah.
I also think she's kind of mature because she and her teacher get along really well, even though they're so different age-wise.
Oh, yeah, it's true. She's old beyond her years, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the next show. Demon Slayer, episode 23, The Hashira Meeting. So Grumpy Nezuko, who's been pierced like Swiss cheese by swords, gets out of that box. And, Tsunemi is there. He's holding his dripping, bloody arm in front of her to try to entice her. And Iguro, the, serpent guy, is still holding Tanjiro down. And Shinobu is, warning Tanjiro that, hey, if you try any breathing techniques while he's holding you, down that hard, your lungs are compressed and your veins will burst. And the flamboyant guy is bursting. Ooh, sounds flamboyant. Ooh.
What the fuck is his deal?
So weird. He is so, I can't imagine what his sex thing is. Does he only want to have sex in front of 50 people and flamboyantly?
He only has sex with pink flamingos exclusively.
Maybe. I don't know, but I just whenever he'd say things "ooh, sounds flamboyant," ooh, I'd be like, "Is this what you say in bed?"
Yep.
Does anyone want to fuck you? Do they just gag him?
He lights up a cigarette. He's like, "That was a really flamboyant time."
God damn it.
So Tanjiro is still struggling to break free, and he runs to the edge of the building, and he does get free, and he tries to get through to Nezuko by yelling her name, right? And then so the scene does this cool transition to Nezuko remembering things about her family, and she first remembers Tanjiro protecting her from Gyu, saying that she's different, and he's like, I don't know how it happened, but she's different. And then Nezuko remembers further back about her family, and she's hearing the voice of Oroku Daki in her head, which we know previously had used his hypnosis on her to protect humans, and I think that's what we're hearing, because it's basically saying protect humans, they are your family, do not hurt them. And Nezuko basically through all this and through remembering images of her family resolves, I will never hurt humans. And so back in real time she's looking at Tsunemi, and then she kind of just and turns away from him.
Yeah.
And clenches her fists really hard to stop herself.
Yeah, it kind of acts like she's disgusted.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
And so the master, the boss, Kagaya, says, hey, it's been proven Nezuko won't attack humans even after all of that provocation. And he also tells Tanjiro there's still people who won't accept her though, so it's your job to start from today proving that she won't do this, and also that she can fight together with you as a demon slayer. And then to go further, he says, if you want to do that, you need to defeat one of the 12 Kizuki, and then people will respect you. And Tanjiro's like, I'll defeat Muzan Kibutsuji himself with Nezuko. Fuck the 12 Kizuki. I'm real good. And then Kaga is like, as you're ill-equipped to do that now, start with the 12 Kizuki. And like Tanjiro like blushes, and like several of the Hashira start laughing, like the Mitsuri girl, like, a bunch of like Shinobu starts laughing. All of the Hashira have defeated a 12 Kizuki, which is why they receive such like respect and preferential treatment. And they basically accomplish this by training themselves to death. So yeah, Tanjiro's getting a little ahead of himself. Kagaya, the master, tells Tanjiro to give them respect, and also tells Sanemi and Iguru to treat the younger Slayers like more gently next time. And there's this funny moment where, like, when Sanemi is getting scolded like that, Nezuko is, like, in chibi form, and she's, like, steaming mad, and she's like, yeah, tell him. And Shinobu says she'll take Tanjiro and Nezuko into her house, and two of those Kakushi cleanup crew guys, well, actually, one guy and one girl, come and, like, carry them away. But Tanjiro comes like running back around and says, I need to headbutt Sanemi 3 times for piercing Nezuko with the sword 3 times. Please let me do it. And then like the mist dude, Muichiro, like flicks some rocks at his head to like knock him out. And he's like, it's not okay to interrupt the master. And so he's like unconscious. Well, he's almost unconscious, and the Kakushi start carrying him off. And the master does say, give my respects to Tamayo, who is that healer demon woman from earlier in the series. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then like the Kakushi are like really upset as they're running off because like they got made to look bad in front of the Hashira, and they're like, don't you know how to read a fucking room? God, like don't piss those people off. And so they go to Shinobu's butterfly mansion. They find that girl, Kanao Suyuri, who is the other butterfly girl from like the forest arc and like from the final selection. And she's apparently a Sugoku, which is like a swordsman trained by the Hashira. They don't have like the same powers, but they're really strong regardless. And the Kakushi, like carrying them around, tells Tanjiro like, she's a girl, but she's awesome. And I'm just like, oh, Shonen Jump, I hate you so much.
Okay.
Anyway, they ask Kanao's permission to enter the mansion, but she just like stands there with like a smile on her face and butterflies like flitting around, and she just like stares at them and doesn't respond. And fortunately, some other girl comes, takes them inside the infirmary to like help Tanjiro out. And Tanjiro, as he's like leaving, is getting carried away. He looks back at Kanao, and he's like pretty entranced by her. He might have his first crush. I don't know. But yeah, in the infirmary, there's another girl with butterflies, and she's just having the worst time in the world because she is trying to deal with Zenitsu, who is there.
He has been gone for like 3 episodes, maybe. Mm-hmm. And the first moment we see him, he's at his fucking worst. Good God.
I mean, to be fair, because he was poisoned by the spider guy, like his arms and legs have shrunk. And like he has to take like this ridiculous medicine regimen.
Yeah, he's gonna take it like 5 times a day. I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna fucking fix you, so shut the fuck up.
What if I miss a treatment? What if I miss a dose?
I don't know why he panics so much about this. Like,
I mean,
there's no reason for him to do it.
I mean,
like, he was gonna turn into a fucking spider.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But yeah, he's freaking
but
out.
having to take medicine is terrifying. Yeah.
It is a lot of medicine, but yeah, like I guess it will make his arms and legs normal size again and heal him up.
I'm just saying, if I was in his situation and you can tell me my shortened limbs can go back to normal, but I have to take this medication 5 times a day, I'm just fucking thankful.
Yeah, that's probably true. Like, how did you discover this medicine? Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
What crazy science did you figure out?
Tanjiro is also happy to notice that Inosuke is in like the next bed next to Zenitsu, and he like apologizes for not being able to save him, and they sort of flash back to the last time we saw Inosuke, and he's getting his head crushed by that Papa Spider. And so when Inosuke speaks, he has this like croaking voice, like and Zenitsu's just like, yeah, he's been really depressed, and which has been cracking me up because like he knows he's not strong as he thought he was. And throughout this whole scene, by the way, like the Kikuchi guy who's holding Tanjiro is so annoyed at Zenitsu because Zenitsu like rubbed his snot-filled nose on his chest, and there's just like this huge line of snot hanging between them this entire conversation. It's awkward. And so anyway, once Tanjiro gets settled in, he takes Nezuko to this darkened bedroom where she can stay. And he basically tells her, like, he can't believe how everybody's been helping them out. Like, Tomioka and Urokodaki are, like, risking their lives. The master basically saved their lives this morning by, like, siding with them. And, like, Tanjiro thinks that Kagaya's voice had, like, this weird soothing quality to it that made him lightheaded. And he wonders what the deal is with that. That's interesting. But like as he's talking, Nezuko falls asleep and he's like, oh yeah, you're probably exhausted. You haven't slept in a long time. And Tanjiro says that like he needs to train harder to become very strong, and turn Nezuko back into a human because one day he's going to grow old and he's going to die and she's still going to be a demon girl and it's going to be a lonely life for her without the people that she loves. But she doesn't hear any of this. She's asleep. That night, the Hashira hold a meeting and they discuss the whole state of the Demon Slayers. There's been a rise in demon activity, and the younger Demon Slayers have been failing to fight it back, and so they come to the conclusion that like there's lower caliber Demon Slayers being raised right now, and they need to do something about it. And Shinobu mentions that like the human population has also like grown a lot in this era and has become harder to like unify them behind like one cause, so that's hurting their chances. And only the people whose families have like lost people to demons or who have like a demon slayer like family pedigree are like offering people as their services. So yeah, it's been harder to find quality demon slayers. But Kyojuro also wonders about Tanjiro and Nezuko if they have the ability to attract 12 Kizuki, since he met one so soon after becoming a Slayer, which is really rare. And then,
well, I think it's mostly just like his talent. It's not that he's innately attracting them.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it may just be luck, honestly. But I bet you, if anything, it's something to do with Nezuko. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it may be partly his power, his family's power.
Yeah, it's possible too. Yeah, because we don't know much about his father and what all that was about. But the master warns them that Muzan is probably nowhere near the Mount Nanaguma where they attacked, the spider demons attacked. Because his MO is just to like make distractions for the Slayers when he wants their attention somewhere else. Which has kept them off of his trail this whole time, which is like really frustrating for them. But yeah, he tries to give them a pep talk. He's like, "You are the finest unit since the original first breathing swordsman," and so he plans to bring down Muzan, even if it's the last thing he does. And that's basically where the episode ends, with him saying that. So yeah, basically these people need to rest up, get better. Nezuko didn't die. Yay. It's a good episode.
Dude, if Nezuko would have died, the fucking anime community would have been up in arms.
That's why I keep joking about it. Like, obviously she's not. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything else about that episode you guys liked or disliked?
I just feel like they've been info dumping lately.
Yeah, it's been downtime in between after that last arc. So these 2 episodes are setting up like the next arc to come, I'm sure. But we only have 3 episodes left.
3 episodes, and I'm just like, what am I looking forward to? What crazy thing are they going to accomplish in the next 3 episodes?
They are going to set up the 2nd season, is my guess.
Jesus. They need to...
I think this is going to be endless. It's just going to be like 6 seasons in the movie.
I mean, like, I feel like there's a way it could end, though, because there's only, like, 12 Kizuki, and then there's, like, Muzan, who's the one big bad guy. So, like, I could easily see this ending with, like, another 24-episode season.
There's 11 now, right? Because Ruri was one.
He can make more is the problem, which is why it could be endless if they really want it to be. Because if they don't take down Muzan, like, he could just keep promoting more demons to Kizuki. Yeah. So, yeah.
Speaking of making more people, you can make clones of yourself in Astra Lost in Space.
Yep.
Episode 10, Culprit.
Ooh.
We finally find out who it is.
We do. Big brain. There's a lot of big brain stuff this episode. Let's get into it.
Jesus Christ. The mystery of what's up with Earth and Astra thickens. They all are clearly the same species and even speak the same language. We also see a flat map of Astra, and this was weird because it is eerily similar to Earth, but changed in just enough ways that it's not, if you paid attention.
Yeah, so like the question is like, did they just find a world that was like almost exactly like Earth? Like, or did they terraform the world to be somewhat similar to Earth? It's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but it leads to nothing later on.
Yeah.
So it also turns out that there are no more countries, and that Ares has seen really old maps that had countries labeled as we know them. So she's like, oh, well, that was Russia, and then the island below that was Japan. And Paulina's like, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. And then there's like one big thing Paulina notes is that there seems to be a large time gap between hers and theirs time from where she like kind of was, like, I guess science-wise to where they are now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And something to do with the planet. They end up discussing more about history until they get to the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. This is where the timeline branches. In the kids' histories, they had World War III during this time. So, like, that shit got blown up and went crazy. It turns out the world entered into a nuclear war that lasted 2 months and killed off half of the world's populations. And then finally, humanity came around, and they're like, all right, this is dumb. What are we doing? They finally created the world government, and everything has been peaceful since then. They also ended up abolishing guns, and Paulina notes that the kids seem to have been very deliberately left lacking in their history. Like, they just barely brushed across the surface, and Paulina's like, history is one of the most important things. What the hell?
Yeah, there's clearly something being swept under the rug, yeah.
Yeah, so back to Paulina. In her timeline, in the year 2049, an asteroid is found to be heading to Earth within 8 years, and it would kill all life on the planet, just decimate everything.
I'm trying to think, like, would this actually be feasible that we could get everyone out in time and find a new planet?
Well, if you can create this wormhole technology that I'm going to talk about in just a second.
No, but like, are we gonna get there in 20 years?
So they had 8 years, right? So
8 years.
Yeah. Okay, but think about, like, we're 2019. Mm-hmm. In 20 years, do you think we will have wormholes? I don't think we'll have.
No, I don't. Wormholes. But like, I didn't think we would have cell phones when we were in like night. I don't know. When I was growing up.
Oh, what's the law that where like every year or two?
Oh,
fucking like technology,
CPU like processing power,
quadruples or something like that. What is it called? Is it Murphy's?
No, that's Murphy's law is like something else. Murphy's law is like if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Yeah.
With a CPU power doubling law, Moore's law. You were close.
Moore's. I knew it was an M. Yeah, Moore's law is something like that.
The problem is we're approaching like the limits of Moore's law because of like the limits of miniaturization for like processors.
Yeah, that and just like the materials we use. So yeah, that's really interesting.
But also producing wormholes is not like producing fucking Intel processors. Like, like it's different.
So
now you just got me thinking, like, every time it turns on, it's like da na na na.
So, right, they have 8 years to find a new place to basically get the hell out. So they created the Ark ships and sent them out to find a hospitable planet. This is when they also created a wormhole technology that would allow the human race to swiftly move to this other planet. And they pretty much deduced that it was the technology that they first transported them into space. The fucking white sphere, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, that technology. And Paulina also says they must be on an ark they never used, and that the ice planet they first appeared at was likely Earth.
Yeah.
And that they are descendants of that first race of humans that migrated. But there's a lot to take in. But there's
this is just like the dump of all dumps. I knew you would have trouble with this. I was like, Leo's not going to do well.
I struggled. But something about the timeline doesn't quite make sense. Even if they migrated as late as 2057, it's only year 2063, which is only a 6-year difference. And there's no way they could have colonized this planet as fast as they did.
Oh, wait, I forgot something. Okay. When they say there's no countries, Polina's like, oh my god. And then Kanata's like, Polina, what is God? And I was just like, I laughed so hard at this because, like, I don't care how long it's been, like, to erase the entire idea of religion from a people who are migrating to another planet, not happening. Just not happening.
I did not believe it. They're like, and then nobody talked about it, and they all agreed not to. Like, you know that people are going to talk about it. You know they're going to, like, hushedly tell their children, like, under their breath or some shit.
Yeah. Well, in the old days, guess what? This happened. Yeah. That's insane.
Even 100 years, like, that shit is still going to be around.
It made me think of Attack on Titan because they stole the memories from everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm like, did something similar happen? What's going on here?
Yeah.
But at the end of all that, Ares is like, hey, let's just take a break, everybody. You know, this is a lot to take in, you think. And so they all take a break. And then, like, Kanata's kind of, like, sitting around. He's reliving the events that first took them to Earth. And he suddenly feels the need to go talk to Ares about something. She at first won't let him in the door because she thinks he's, like, there for services. But he's like, I just want to talk. The next day, they arrive at their final planet called Gallum. Does that mean anything, Bcom?
I guess it's just an anagram for gleam, which I don't know if that's come into play yet, but yeah.
Okay. And they set out and do their usual thing of looking for supplies and continue on, blah, blah, blah. Kanata and Ares get a cute scene where he says he will walk her home when they finally arrive at Astra because it's the captain's job to make sure everybody gets home all right. La, la, la. So Kanata goes out to do some thinking about who the culprit is all by himself. And he eventually decides that the culprit must also cherish the bond they have with everybody. And that's why they haven't done anything else. And that's suddenly when that ball of light appears and starts chasing him. And he ends up running into a cave and he runs into Eris. And she's like, what's up? And then, like, he suddenly notices the ball's gone. It's not chasing him anymore. And he quickly thinks that maybe the culprit is planning to get rid of everybody and return on their own with the ship. He also says he figured out who the culprit is and will make his first move tomorrow.
Yep.
So, again, the next day, Kanata gets Zack and Charles alone and tells them the culprit is Olger. He also says he doesn't have definitive proof yet and they will entrap him. The plan is for Charles to go foraging with Olger alone, and the other two will tail them when he goes to use the device that controls the wormhole. They will jump him. They enact the plan and get Charles and Olger alone in the cave. Kanata suddenly tells Charles to abort mission because Funi has suddenly gone missing and they have to make it back to the ship and go find her quickly. And then suddenly that's when Olger pulls the gun on Charles and pulls the trigger, which we were told earlier Kanata messed with so it wouldn't fire. Mm-hmm. So we know the gun would fail. And then the two jump back from each other and suddenly that's when the sphere appears. Kanata comes running out of the shadows and grabs Charles' wrist, revealing a small device. Tells him to deactivate the sphere. So this is funny. I predicted it, but with the wrong reasons.
Okay.
And I just, like, I immediately was like, I know Cat won't believe me, she doesn't believe it. But when the sphere deactivated, when Kanata came across Ares, I assumed it was Charles because we know Ares is his old, looks and acts just like his old friend, Tiara. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's why he activated. He wants to take her back alive with him. Now that he's kind of fallen for her or whatever again all over him.
Well, he hasn't like 100% explained yet what his reasons are. You might still be like close on that. So we still got the next episode, which was going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. And then like, especially at the point when he was talking to Zack and Charles about ambushing Olger, I was like, oh, he's tricking one of them. And I think it's Charles. Like, I felt like the setup was fucking there. Yeah, the setup was, like, too simple if it was just Olgar.
So, I finished this out by saying, I was right, but for right now, it looks like the fucking wrong reasons.
The only, like, more surprising one, if it would have been if it was, like, Zack, especially after all the stuff he had just, like, proposed to Kitari and everything, and then, like, it was somehow him, that would have been pretty strange. So
you would have to give me some crazy explanation that made sense, like, Charles's character made sense to me. Zach's would have been just like, and why him? Kat, did you find any of it a little bit predictable or not too surprising?
I mean, it makes sense to me that it was Charles because like his backstory was the most dramatic and like dumb. Like this belongs in a soap opera type bullshit.
Yep.
But I don't know any of them at this point that they pulled out and were like, it's this one. It would have been like weird. So.
Okay. So like, I guess Kanata had the foresight to like have everybody already in the cave. So everybody comes out of the shadows and they've seen what happened. So there's nobody has any doubts that Charles is the culprit. So
and
that's
also,
cool.
like, why are they all waiting like dramatically like it's a scene from a play? Like, enter scene.
So what really happens, Kanata figured it was Charles because he was the last one to get sucked through the spear the first time it appeared. And he explained this because if he was truly him, he needed to make sure everybody got sucked up. So that's why he was the last.
And Ares was the one who remembered that he was last because
that's
she has
what
like the
Kanata
good memory.
went and, that's what Kanata went and talked to her about that night.
Yep.
And we also learn, basically the final thing we learn is that Charles is actually a clone of the king of the Royal Vix or whatever that weird nation is.
Yeah.
That gets to have a king.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more to that story and more to Sarah and bullshit that we'll obviously find out about. But I thought it was pretty funny. Like, yeah, they had 8 years to migrate to a new planet. Do you think they ever considered maybe sending Bruce Willis into space with a team of oil riggers to just like, plant a nuclear bomb in the middle of the asteroid and maybe blow it apart? By the way, in Armageddon, they had even less time to do this. It was like they had like months or something to put this shit together.
I don't know. This show is like cramming too much plot into this small little show. It should have just been a 24 episode show.
I think the next 2 episodes are going to kill me. They'll
It
just
should have
find me
just been a
dead,
24
slumped over my
episode
desk,
show.
and I'll have Astra written all over my walls.
The last one is like double length.
I know.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Bcom already reminded me at the beginning of this episode. I was like,
the other thing that was weird to me is like, okay, they migrate to Astra with these arcs, which we know they probably had to do like planet hopping too, because they probably didn't have all the supplies they needed to get all the way there.
No, they used the wormholes.
Oh, so they went through the wormholes with the ship? Okay.
Yeah, with all their supplies and everything.
Okay,
Only the
yes,
very
makes sense.
first Astra that was looking for the planet had to do that.
Oh, okay. My question is like, okay, they've been on one planet that was wiped out by an asteroid.
You only have one question? Damn.
Well, that's one of my biggest questions. Like, why aren't they like colonizing other planets? Like, why don't like some of these planets that like
Because they killed off like over half the world's population.
But like
It's
send
been 100
like
years.
10,000
How
people
long?
over to a planet, like colonize that shit. Like,
No, it's not been 100 years. According to them, it's only been...
it's been like 6 years apparently, or whatever.
Since the killing off, it's been over 100.
It can't be that they have that many people on the planet yet.
Yeah, no, it's true, but
For
like
them to want to extend it.
I still think they need to think about that soon. Like they literally experienced a world-ending event, so they shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket.
People want to be where other people are. People don't want to colonize too far out unless there's population density.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh man, this show's ridiculous.
It's been very surprising. It was a gem. It was hidden.
Oh, it's hidden. Yes.
It was a hidden
Nobody
gem.
knew that this was going to come. Everyone thought Fire Force was going to be the thing.
And it's not. It's
And
fucking
then
terrible.
This came and just demolished fucking Fire Force. Was like, you little pussy ass bitch, look what I have. Is what this show did.
Got teenager space drama.
Oh,
Yeah.
And on that note, we should take a short break, and you can hear from some other podcasts that have teenager space drama. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Here's a salami pizza we found in the garbage.
If they're gonna go to the park late at night, nothing wrong could happen there.
Nothing bad ever happens
Come on,
at the park
Japan.
late at night.
It's Japan. It's safe there.
Yeah, sure. Safe.
The tentacle monsters only come out in your bedroom at night.
You haven't watched a whole lot of hentai, have you?
No, I
They
haven't.
catch you at school, too.
You can find the Trash Pandas Watch Anime podcast on FaceTube, uBook, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes. And on Twitter, at Trash Panda Anime. Oh, we also have a website, tpwapodcast.com.
Hey, do you like wrestling?
Whether it be in a bar, an arena, some weird place in Asia, or in a stadium?
Or the occasional penis plex?
Well, if any of these things might tickle your fancy, anywhere in between from penises to wrestling, you can come and check out our podcast.
Our podcast name is Smack It Down. We talk all things WWE, New Japan, anything else in between.
I'm Jay Silver.
I'm Corey Gold.
And we look forward to you joining us.
Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day indeed.
And we're back. And we got Dr. Stone. Leo, take us away.
Yes, it is me. Episode 10, A Flimsy Alliance. Senku has finally recreated electricity and says it's very important for his science, which, yes, I will completely agree with that.
Yeah.
They would decide they will have Gen go back to Tsukasa and report that Senku is super, super dead. And Gen also remembers when he was first freed from the stone and met Tsukasa. And it turns out Tsukasa has been collecting the stone statues. He wanted to arrive first in one area, and you can see that almost all the statues are just like these super strong, big people.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Gen is like a scrawny little guy. But
yeah, but he like revived. Did Gen revive on his own, or did no? Tsukasa revived him 100%.
Yeah, he revived him.
So then, like, he's something about Gen. He was like, it's so important that I revive him first. Yeah,
he has a specific goal he wants Gen to do. He wants to go because Gen is a skilled mentalist. He wants him to track down if Senku is alive and figure out their psychology.
Okay,
and then go from there.
Interesting. But
we come back to the present. And Gen suddenly gets attacked by a shadowed figure and gets the crap punched out of him before eventually being stabbed by a spear. And like the others hear the commotion and find Gen dead. But he's not dead because he covered his body with like bags of fake blood. And like, even though they blur it out, like the attacker is obviously magma. I mean, like this show doesn't really hide it. And you actually find out like super quick it was him anyways. So they start to take care of Gen's wounds, who's like, he got the like, just pulverized by the fist. They start taking care of his wounds, and Suika sets out to find the copper. I was like, "Who's that?" That's the little apple head child, or whatever you want to call it.
Watermelon girl. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
The bitch boy or whatever.
It's a girl.
Does it matter? Does it matter if it's a boy or a
It
girl?
does matter. I think. I don't know.
Can you fuck a watermelon? Does it have a gender?
Not if it's underage and doesn't consent. No.
It doesn't have a gender. It just has a hole.
Oh, God. Reminds me of that fucking scene. Remember the first American Pie movie where Jason Biggs is like fucking an apple pie?
Yes.
Oh, classic movie.
So, anyways, she goes off to investigate, and she finds basically Magma boasting about killing him, and now that the sorcerer is gone, he can beat Kawaku, she was so strong, it had to have been sorcery that made her so strong, so now that she's weak, he can beat her. And then, like, he also says he'll make Kawaku's sister his wife, and even Kawaku if she apologizes a lot or something like that.
So I was really confused, by the way, because if you notice, Magma and Kohaku's dad look very similar, except Kohaku's dad has that like brown beard. Mm-hmm. So I thought Magma was Kohaku's dad, and he was saying like, "I'm gonna take Kohaku for my own," and I was like, I know you disowned her, dude, but that's a little weird. And I was like, wait, no, there has to be something wrong here. And I was like, okay, wait, no, they're different people. Thank God. I was so confused. I was really scared for a minute.
Yeah, apparently. And Senku wonders why Magma wants to kill Kohaku. Kohaku says that every generation they hold a grand bout, and the winner becomes the next elder of the village. This time, though, the winner also gets to marry Ruri, her sister. Magma sees how sick she is during like the first one and says out loud he wishes that she would just go ahead and croak so he basically didn't have to deal with her sick ass.
Which is so fucking shitty. He's like, well, I'll fuck her once and then she'll die.
Yeah. And Kohaku overhears this and you know exactly where this is going. She beats his fucking ass in the grand bout.
Yeah, she should.
And it's also like one of the last reasons Kohaku's dad like disowned her because he's like, God damn it.
Everybody's like, what do we do now? Girls can't love girls. What do we do?
But it turns out the village is going to hold another grand bout in a month. And they know that if Magma would win, that would be bad. Really bad. So Kohaku suggests that somebody from their little community of science enter and win instead. She gets Kinro and Jinro, the guards, to agree to entering, and she ends up starting to train them. And then later on, Kohaku talks to Chrome one day and tells him she would really like to train him instead, but they know he wouldn't stand a chance. And Senku is just like a dick. He says, she's just being sympathetic because she knows you love her sister, Ruri. God.
And like, you could tell Chrome is like, yeah, I wish I could do this, but he kind of accepts it, you know?
Yeah, he's like, I know I can't. So Chrome has like a flashback of him and Ruri as like little children, and she's like coughing then. And she says she was told she will never survive long enough to be an adult. And Chrome's like, I swear I'll find a cure for you. And yeah, we've all seen that scene. And Kohaku also decides she's going to enter the bout again. And as Jin is healing, he starts muttering something. And everybody else is like asleep. And Senku like leans in to listen to him. And then he says something back. And we don't know what happens yet so far. And then Chrome wakes up the next day to find that Gin has ran off. And we see him run straight to Tsukasa's lair. We see that he's also revived a bunch of like burly and muscular people so far. There's even like a muscular woman in there. He's all about like pure physical force, basically.
Yep.
Gin tells Tsukasa that he has found a primitive village and that Senku, it just cuts off. Stupid show, because it tells us like literally a minute later. Senku stops Kohaku from going after him because he knew he won him over to their side when he made electricity. Finally, we see Gin tell Tsukasa that Senku is so super dead. And also, what Jin asked that night was if Senku could make cola in this world. Senku basically bought Gin with a bottle of soda.
Yeah, this shows you the extreme diplomatic power of Coca-Cola. So don't sleep on Coke. Like, it can get shit done in the prehistoric and the post-apocalyptic world.
I just don't understand being so obsessed with a drink that you're like, I need this in my life. Like, I love coffee, but even I wouldn't be that obsessed with coffee.
I mean, it's easy not to be obsessed with variety until you don't have it anymore, you know?
He's already been won over by electricity. This is just like him trying to get the cherry on the top.
I guess.
I guess that's true also, yeah. Also, I feel like, okay, Kinro and Ginro will probably fight Magma. They'll probably lose. Kohaku said she's going to participate again. Like, she'll probably fight him, and she'll probably lose. And I feel like Chrome is going to have a weapon of science up his sleeve, and he's going to beat the shit out of Magma. A weapon of science. A weapon of science, baby.
Get the lady, get the woman with the weapon of science.
And then we're going to get that Chrome and Ruri happy ending, and it's going to be all good. But I wonder what weapon he will use, because he can't just beat
I like your theory, but
Magma.
I disagree with Kohaku losing.
I think Kohaku will, like, rig it so that he wins.
I feel like Magma has some way to deal with Kohaku, because he knows, like, he lost to her last time, so he has to have some way to deal with her.
Yeah, but he thought because he beat the sorcerer Chrome that now she doesn't have her super strength anymore.
Oh, it's possible that Kohaku could win again, but then, like, the village elders could say, like, that doesn't count. We need, like, an actual male heir, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, just tell her that she lost. But, like, I don't know. I feel like he's going to have some way to deal with her this time around.
Senku's the main character. I think he's going to win somehow for some reason.
I don't think so. I mean, it's way more set up for Chrome to do something than Senku.
I cannot see this show focusing on Kinro, Jinro, and Kohaku and Magma, and then Senku doesn't have, and Chrome, and Senku doesn't have a fucking big part of it.
Well, no. Senku will probably make the weapon that Chrome uses. That's my guess.
Okay, maybe a little bit, but sounds far-fetched.
Have you watched Ahead, Leo? Have you read Ahead in this manga? Are you like hinting that I'm wrong?
No, I just really my favorite thing when watching anime is trying to predict what's going to happen.
Okay.
So like, which is why the Astra stuff's been crazy because I've been pretty close. Even though the episode before this I did predict it, but this time I also did predict it, but for the fucking wrong reasons. So I'm just like, that's messed up. But okay. But I don't know. Like you said, the next episode of Astra, I am partially right on some degree. Who knows? We'll find out.
Probably, yeah. All right, let's talk about the best episode of anime this week, Given.
Yeah,
was it really
the most unpredictable for me because
in my opinion, it was one of the best episodes. Yeah.
I don't know. I also found this to be lame. All of these fucking episodes, episodes 10 were lame, in my opinion, mostly.
I will agree with Bcom. I hate the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, the beginning is frustrating. So like, they do the metaphor with the heart. It's called Wonderwall is the name of the episode.
You're my Wonderwall.
I wonder who sings this one.
Well, but like, why is it called Wonderwall? Like, I
don't know.
Catch why they called it that at all. But anyway,
I don't know. Maybe whenever like the lyrics, it would make sense.
Maybe. Does Wonderwall have like a meaning beyond the Oasis song? Like, I don't even know what Wonderwall means beyond that. So
I'm like glancing over the lyrics, and it's kind of just gibberish.
It's just bull. Yeah, it's bull.
You could kind of make whatever you wanted of it.
Yeah, but yeah, once again, like they do the metaphor with the guitar strings and your heartstrings and all this, and Ritsuka's being very like sentimental. And then you see Ritsuka's sister cutting her hair off in the living room. And who is she talking to, by the way?
That's going to be a sigh from me, dog.
Dude, I'm right there with you, Bcom. So I'm
like, girl.
I hate when any form of media does that.
It's such an old and stupid trope.
No man is worth you cutting your hair off for. That's years of your life that you worked for that fucking hair. Cut it if you want, but don't do it over a dude.
Basically, yeah. Do it for yourself.
Like, you don't understand as a man how long it takes you to fucking grow your hair out. It takes years and years and years. It takes a long time. Well, maybe you do because you had long hair. Most guys don't get it because, like, if you're actually cutting your hair on a regular basis too, so you don't have split ends, it's even longer.
I'll be honest. I've had nightmares of getting my hair cut.
Yeah, so it's years. It's years of your fucking life.
It is. It is years of your life.
Yeah. And I'm just like, look what you're doing to yourself over some stupid dude who's not thinking about you at all. And like, who is she doing this for? Like, because Ritsuka comes in, there's already some dude already there. And he's freaking out.
Well, it's her dad. Yeah.
It's her dad.
Oh, is it? Okay, because they don't show like, the dad very much.
She's like, I got dumped. And dad's like, you were dating someone?
Yeah, because they don't show the dad very much.
They don't, no.
And in my mind, I was like, is this a random like post office deliverer that's just witnessing that? Like, imagine if that's your job. You go up, you're going to deliver this package. This bitch starts cutting off her hair. That would suck for you.
That would.
At least it's her dad.
Yeah, it's her
Okay, so. But yeah, and she's like yelling. And Ritsuka's like, man, it must suck to be in love. Like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that shit. And then he like has a flashback to him like fucking kissing Mafuyu and how he's fucking in love with Mafuyu. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, you dumb idiot.
No, it was really intense. He just he forgot all that happened until just now. I like how he like rewinded time in his head though, like a VHS tape though. It was kind of fun. It was good. It was like a good transition.
I don't know. It was cute, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the girl who went to middle school with Mafuyu is like really surprised and really touched by his song, and he really does have like a gift. It's clear because everyone is touched by his song. I mean, Haruki, that manager that had them do the live, the manager did like, he worked all night to get this video of their performance out and gives it to them immediately and like was super obsessed with it and asked them to do another show immediately. Yeah. And says he's like hit by the band's passion. So it's like obvious that they're trying to make sure you know like this was a really good, they did a really good job.
I also noticed that Haruki was working as like a barista at a coffee shop. And I was like thinking back, and I was like, between Bloom Into You and like Domestic Girlfriend, and now this show, I'm starting to wonder if Japan thinks all gay people work as baristas. Like it's the only job they do.
I read that when you wrote that, and I was just like, yeah, I think you're onto something.
I think there might be some like inherent bias here that's going on behind the scenes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cat's
But
texting.
yeah, no, I lost my spot.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Akihiko comes in while Haruki and the manager are like holding hands, but they're doing it because they have the USB in between them. And he's like misunderstands, and it's very cute. And then Ritsuka goes to visit Mafuyu and is like, this will be awkward. And then is like, well, if I die young. And I'm just like, what? But Mafuyu is sick, and he just like basically has to help him into bed and all this shit. It's the stereotypical like my love interest is sick kind of scene. I did think it was adorable where Mafuyu's like, just stay for 5 minutes. It's very childish.
I thought it was really adorable, and kind of Mafuyu's facial expressions were nicely animated when like Ritsuka like caresses his face, and like Mafuyu like kind of like closes his eyes and like eases up against it. Like I thought that moment was really well done. Because like I've seen a million of these scenes in anime, and it usually isn't as cutely animated as that. Like I thought they did that really well in comparison.
It was cutely done. Like it was well done, and I thought it was adorable. I was just surprised because Mafuyu is not usually that childish of a character.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing with like Kaguya, who when she's sick reverts to a child.
Yeah.
But yeah.
From Love is War.
Yeah, from Love is War, yeah.
And then Ritsuka asked him what that song was about yesterday, like heartbreak, and Mafuyu's like, yes, but next time I want to write about something else. And Ritsuka just thinks about like, oh, he's already thinking about the next song, and he really blew me away, and I really want this song to be about me, and they're really crushing on each other hard here. And then later, a couple days later, the band gets together and they watch the video together. Like, see, this is the thing with this episode. It goes very fast. There's a lot of these small moments. I would have liked there to be longer scenes, because when there's a lot of these tiny moments like this, I feel like it just kind of doesn't flow as well.
I don't know. I like this pacing a lot. Because like I felt like the beginning half of the show's pacing was way too slow. Maybe some of this stuff is a little too fast, but I think all this stuff with the band I kind of liked though.
I guess it's not that it's too fast. It's just like I would like longer scenes. For there to be more time in between. I don't know. Because some of the stuff I don't care as much about. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, the band gets together and they watch the video. They're live together, and like one of them brought their laptop to this grill place and is like holding it over the grill, and I was like, I would not do that. Did that like strike anyone else as like the worst thing you could do?
No, I didn't think about what they were doing, but that is kind of ridiculous.
Like if you're at a grill, like a Benihana, right? That would be like our equivalent, because we don't have like this kind of place really.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone took their laptop out and like held it over the like hot stove surface.
That would be a little weird, yeah.
You'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah,
there's like
so
a lot of meat
weird.
juices that can be splattering and stuff. Like, yeah, this is not good. Yeah.
No, I was like, that's weird. It just shows you how much they care, I guess. But yeah, he tells them about the new live that they got invited to, and Mafuyu is very eager about doing the show, and I love how like when he says he wants to write another song, they all give him fucking meat, and I'm like, what?
They like really accept his like just pure reaction to like his experience on stage, and how because they're like asking him like, what do you want this band to be? And he's like, I just want to feel that feeling again and get lost in it kind of again. And they're all like, oh, we totally get that. All right, let's figure out a band name.
Yeah. But yeah, Mafuyu is very frank about like what he wants, and they all respond
but you
really
try to
well.
find a good band name, and then you find it's taken. So
Well, I don't know why they wanted to change it so bad. I guess I did say it was generic, and like a lot of people have similar band names.
Did you guys just like totally miss my joke or just
No,
ignore it?
there's a lot of given and taken in finding a band name, Leo.
I ignored it because I just don't want to give you the satisfaction. But they okay, it must be something with Japanese like letters that they somehow get seasons and give to be given.
Givens. Well, I mean, it's like if they just put given and seasons together, it's like a Givens. Yeah. And that's a terrible name.
Dumb!
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, whatever. That's what they do. It's stupid, but at least now we know the title of the fucking anime.
Well, no, the reason they call it that is because Mafuyu says, like, my ex-boyfriend's mother gave me this guitar, so maybe give. And then Akihiko's like, give is like something, but what about like given? Like, yeah. Because it's like givens, so yeah, given. There you go.
But yeah, they upload the band video, start a social media, like get everything together for this new band that they're making together with this new singer. And Mafuyu talks to Hiragi at the band store. He meets up with him about which guitar strings won't break. And of course, like there are none. And he's surprised that Hiragi is very surprised at how well the band is doing and that they already have another live. And the dynamic between them is very cute, and like the flashback where Hiragi is like crying to the other friend about having like made up with him is also very cute.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so glad that he was able to sing. It was cute. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to get this like very juicy part at the end with Akihiko and his ex, Ugetsu.
Mm-hmm. I
was like, yes, finally the juiciest part. And then I was like, oh, it was just Ugetsu being like, wow, Mafuyu's actually good. And I was sad. I want more of their drama so bad. They don't give it to me.
There does seem to be more coming, because he had that comment about like how Mafuyu's talent is being wasted in this band. Like if he had the right trigger, he would be great.
If they don't do something with Ugetsu and Mafuyu, or Ugetsu and Akihiko and Hiragi, I'm gonna squish someone. This drama needs to go down.
Okay.
I need to know what happens. Anyway, at the very end, Ritsuka and Mafuyu go on the train together and like randomly go on a date, kind of. Like they're there and he's like, do you want to go somewhere? Oh, I guess we could go somewhere. And then it's like kind of spontaneous. And Mafuyu decides to go to this beach called Minato Mirai. And at first I thought he was taking him to the same beach, which would have been a little weird. But I guess it's a different beach, but the ocean still. So it's still very, like, nostalgic of his first lover, but obviously kind of new as well with Ritsuka. And they're sitting there, and he tells Ritsuka that he likes him, and Ritsuka's just like, and then the episode, like, ends, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
There's so many adorable moments in this episode. I think that's why I found it to be so good. Like, now that all the characters have been established, and we're over the major obvious drama with Mafuyu and Ritsuka, like, it's just these characters, like, being adorable with each other, and I kind of really enjoyed that. It's almost like a slice of life now. I mean, there's still things that need to be resolved, but we have one episode to go. This is an 11-episode series, so...
Thank God.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes in the last episode, but I don't know. I don't know if this is adapting like all of the material or not, or if there's more manga to adapt, but yeah. Or was this wait, hold on. Was this an original show? I forget. I probably wrote it down up here. No, it's a manga. Okay. So maybe there's more after this. And like, I would have some interest in like reading on to see what happens to these characters later on in the manga, based on where they've gotten to now. So yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else was adapted for a manga?
I just wish that they'd done 12 episodes.
12? Why specifically 12 instead of 11? How do you mean they might finish everything in one episode? Who knows?
Because it doesn't feel like they have enough time. It feels like it's dumb if it's already being rushed for them to cut it.
I don't know. He's like, all right, he loves you back. Show's over. What more are we going to do?
I mean, but like, the band, Leo, the band.
I mean, the band had a big performance, and they're getting another performance, so they're in a good spot. Like, my concern is the Akihiko and Haruki and Ugetsu and stuff dynamic. Like, I need to know what happens between the three of them.
I do want to know.
So, yeah. All right. But yes, Vinland Saga also adapted from manga. Pretty good one. Episode 10, I guess it's all over because this episode's called Ragnarok. So this episode starts off with Studio Wit finding a way to reuse that Beast Titan throwing animation as Thorkell picks up large boulders and tosses them at the Viking encampment. It really looked similar. Like, I kind of laughed. I mean, it looks really good, but like, it did look it's less goofy than the Beast Titan thing, but it's still like a guy throwing a huge boulder really far, and there's a lot of similarities there. And he's trying to provoke them to fight, and the Viking men are like itching to fight, but Ragnar, the guy who's like looking over Canute, is just telling them like, oh, Canute will say when it's time, we can't fight yet. But like, meanwhile, Canute is just like kneeling inside his tent and praying to Jesus as this friar is reciting like Matthew 26:52, put your sword back in its place, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. And so it seems Canute is very strongly believing in these words and doesn't want to fight like at any cost. And Ragnar's like, maybe we can hold out to winter.
Nothing.
Wait, what?
He doesn't say anything.
I know that.
I mean, like, I can't get a read off the guy, so I can't agree with you on that.
Well, you can assume that he's being read this passage for a reason, like, because he wants to, like, they don't just put a okay, Leo, how many biblical passages do you think there are? They read the one about, like, those who draw the sword will die by the sword, like, and they're not fighting right now, so you can, and he's the commander.
I get a little bit of that, but like, this character is such a fucking mystery right now.
He is. I agree. Yeah. It's
so
weird
like,
that they've kept him silent for so long. Yeah.
To me, I'm coming to no conclusion. So, like, if next episode, he suddenly is a badass and, like, fucking kills 8 people in 30 seconds, then I'm like, I'm not going to be surprised. This is anime.
I mean, there could be multiple reasons why he doesn't want to use a sword. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. That's a mystery.
I'm too
for sure.
good. Nobody's a challenge to me.
Well, I don't think he's like Thorkell level, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, that would be interesting, but I wonder. I doubt that, given his reputation. And so yeah, they're trying to hold out to winter and like not have to fight. One of Thorkell's men, named Asgeir, informs him that the Vikings won't attack and they're being commanded by Canute. And hearing that, like, this maniacal grin comes on Thorkell's face. He's like, oh shit, it's going down. We get this dream sequence where Thorfinn imagines he's a young boy again, but his parents and family and fellow villagers all moved to Vinland, and it's like a paradise. And Thors is carrying him on his shoulders, and he tells Thorfinn that his mother and sister are waiting for him to come home, which is a wonderful thing, and he should give up on this revenge nonsense because it's not going to make him happy. And just then in the dream, the like paradise village comes under attack by raiders, and Thors is like murdered by arrows again, and Thorfinn wakes up screaming his name.
Yep, it's an interesting dream. Like, I think it's just like what's on his mind right now. Like, he knows his dad wouldn't have wanted it.
Yeah, deep down he knows what he's doing is completely against what he's been taught, and he wants to go away to this place where he's away from war, and like he hates being around Askeladd and Thorkell. Like we learned at the end of last episode, he's like these crazy guys who love war. And anyway, so Askeladd's men are encamped on the outskirts of Bath, England. This is a Bath episode, by the way. They're well west of London now. The men are a bit antsy because some of them want to raid larger towns like Bristol to plunder more treasure before winter hits. And others are like, hey, we only got 100 men. Like, maybe let's just take it easy on, like, get some more villages and let's just go back after that. And Bjorn, he's wondering if there will even be a next year of raids, though, because they've been bleeding England dry for about a decade now. And there's probably not much more to be plundered. So two of the men get into a duel because they're arguing about like whether they want to what they want to do. And one of them calls the other a cow thief, which is apparently like a big no-no in Viking times. Because like even Bjorn's like, oh, I can't stop him now. Like they called him a cow thief. Like it's over. And so meanwhile, as this is going on, Thorfinn has wandered outside camp. He's at this nearby hill, and he's kind of admiring the countryside and how it was similar to what Vinland looked like in his dream. And he stumbles across Askeladd, who's sitting on the same hill, and they start making small talk. Well, Thorfinn doesn't want to. He's like, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not one of your men, and the day is still coming when I'll slit your throat. And Askeladd's basically like, yeah, you probably will. You know, I'm going to get old. You're probably going to win one day, and even the strongest men die. And he, like, to make this point, he points to some old ruins nearby. And he's like, yeah, they weren't even built by the Saxons who currently inhabit England. They were built 500 years ago by the Romans who called this land Britannia. And despite being incredibly strong, they were wiped out. And he like flips a Roman coin that was on the ground over to Thorfinn to like just demonstrate like the Romans had a very advanced civilization and even they were taken down. And so this is on Askeladd's mind, I think, basically with like the Vikings won't last forever either. Like he knows that. So the glory is like fleeting, basically, that they can get. And so it's a cycle of war, and the Vikings are wiping out the Saxons now. But there's no guarantee that will last. And Askeladd says, like, if you believe the Christians, the final judgment is coming in 20 years anyway. By the way, don't believe the Christians. They're always fucking wrong about this. Just spoiler alert. God will kill all humans and the world will cease to exist. And Thorfinn's like, oh, Ragnarok, because that's the Viking idea of this. And as the sun rises, a rider comes over the ridge. And this soldier is a Viking under Prince Canute and Ragnar's command. And he tells them that Thorkell is marching from London with 500 men towards the main Viking force, which had moved up north already. And as for the men under Canute, he is one of the only survivors of the siege of London. Thorkell, like once he heard Canute was their commander, launched an attack and like just wrecked them, like just chewed through them like butter.
Yeah, with 500 men. What the fuck?
Well, we don't know if it was only 500 men because he had the whole like London garrison there, but he's now just marching with 500 men. He might have had more when he attacked, but like regardless, it was like very one-sided because like Thorkell and like Asgeir and those guys were pretty badass, and Ragnar and Canute are not capable commanders, so they couldn't like rally the Vikings that were still there.
I mean,
and you would think
that.
Oh, so what'd you say?
Canute is like not even anything. He's just like a child.
It seems like it, yeah. I mean, it's still a mystery, like Leo said, but like, yeah, he seems to be just a child who's like a coward. I don't know. And you would also assume that like the Vikings who had stayed in London are probably some of like the less gung-ho ones, because the others who are going around like plundering all of England would probably be some of the stronger guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, quality is more important than quantity sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so Thorkell, when he was like attacking, like Ragnar ran back to Canute and he was like, Thorkell's almost here, we gotta go. And like Thorkell's like right on them. He like rips the tent apart and he's like, he takes Canute prisoner. And so like the rider tells Askeladd all this, and he says he's riding to the main force to get reinforcements to try and rescue Canute. And Askeladd's like thinking about what he said earlier, and he's thinking about whether he should join with his 100 men. And he's like, there's no point waiting to fade into the sunset of Ragnarok, so I might as well help out with my band of 100 men. And as he's thinking this, he then slices the fucking rider's head off, which surprises the shit out of everybody, because they're like, you just killed a Viking dude, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, bury that man, bury his horse. And he's like, we're going to go help Canute. We're going to rescue him because I want all of the glory and all of the reward money for that. And he's like, I will sell Canute to whichever side pays more, the English or the
That's
Danes.
the big thing. Yep.
Yeah. So that was pretty
explains
badass.
why he killed the guy now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so no one can know. And he doesn't want anybody else to get the message that Canute is even captured. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see how that goes down. And yeah, maybe one of these days Canute will open his mouth and speak, and that would be interesting too.
Yeah, but depending on who he sells it to, it makes the other people his enemy.
That's true, but he's kind of like okay with that.
There's a huge risk involved here.
I mean, I don't think Askeladd's any stranger to taking risks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought like the whole conversation between Askeladd and Thorfinn about like philosophy of life was interesting. They keep fleshing out Askeladd as a character, fleshing out Thorfinn's thoughts, and Askeladd is just like a really good mentor for Thorfinn. Even if he hates him and wants to kill him, like he's a good guy to learn from in this world. He knows how to get by and he has a decent philosophy of how to live, even if he's a bad guy. Like that's kind of what it takes to get by in this world. So, you know. Any other thoughts?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just really love Thorkell. Every scene with Thorkell in it is amazing.
Because he's so crazy. You still have him in here twice, by the way, Bcom.
Oh yeah, so I put 2 boxes on top of each other like I said I would, so he's like really tall now.
God.
Oh man. Yeah, on our Google Sheet, just in case you don't understand, like we have like a little table grid of like characters' pictures with their names underneath. And I have Thorkell in like 2 boxes in a column.
Remember names.
I remember Thorkell's name. I fucking remember that one.
Yeah, he's in here twice, stacked right on top of each other. So yeah, that's God damn it.
Yep.
It's pretty funny. Oh man. All right, we got one more episode to talk about. Carole and Tuesday.
Okay. So a lot of this episode kind of went by fast, and then you've got the dramatic ending.
Oh yeah.
So
Just Like Heaven. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a great song by The Cure, by the way. Fucking great song.
The stage directors for the Grammy meet with Carole and Tuesday and Crystal because, you know, they're doing this duo song together. And you find out she was going to do a duo last year with some other bitch and backed out last minute. So you're like, fuck. Like, is this going to end badly? Apparently that happened because the song wasn't captivating. And you're just like, okay. Because, I mean, to me, there has to be more to it than that for you to back out of a performance last minute.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty, even if it was, you know, something you weren't excited about. You're still a professional. Is that just me?
No, I think that's true.
No,
like,
I agree.
Okay.
But I also think that, like, Hollywood stars and, like, singers and stuff are notoriously difficult to deal with.
I just want to say I see both sides of that argument. So I'm just pretty neutral on that.
Leo's the ultimate centrist on that.
Sure.
On that one issue only. But yeah, so Crystal talks about how the world is going to like change and it's becoming more dark and she wants a song that's like this light in the darkness. It's like a high ask for these new talents. Like, write me a song that is light in the dark. I'm like, Crystal, why don't you fucking write it then? I don't know. I got annoyed with Crystal.
They pull it off,
meeting.
though. I will say they pull it off.
But yeah. At the end of the meeting, Carole and Tuesday ask about Angela because they're worried about her, and the manager hasn't met with her yet because of all of the issues she's having with like Tao and her mom. And apparently her album has been postponed too, so that's not good.
Yeah, she lost her management. She lost her fucking main sound music guy. I mean, fuck.
Yeah,
where do you go
much.
from there? Oh, what do you got left? A lawyer, maybe?
Maybe. If you're lucky.
Maybe. She has that robot.
Yeah.
She probably has that robot. No, wait.
It's
broken.
No.
They don't. She doesn't even have
Yeah.
the robot anymore because he was spying on her.
Meanwhile, Tao is doing whatever subterfuge, you know, whatever bullshit he's up to with the political stuff, and Angela's just like done. She's just like sitting in her room, like fried and high, just like staring into the ceiling.
Just fucking throwing handfuls of pills down her fucking throat.
Yep, that's Angela.
Right.
And then they have this montage
Oh,
where
I like how they animated her because she looks like absolute fucking shit.
Well, she
They
looks a
did
lot
do a
like
good
Flora,
job.
like how they animated Flora. Like, just really run down and,
Yeah.
drugged out.
Yeah. But yeah, the montage wasn't satisfying to me. Like, it just felt very generic, and I was like, I don't get anything out of this. Like,
Same way, when it was going through the montage, my eyes were kind of just like wandering away, just like
I agree.
I've
This
seen this
montage
100
didn't work
times.
for me as well. The only thing I noticed was like how they they pasted like pages to the fucking wall with different words on them to help them like brainstorm. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of cute. But like everything else was just like typical laying around writing a song.
but yeah, like the montage for the writing the song just was not. It could be any song. They could be writing anything at all. That like literally anything. I was
True.
like, this is dumb. But Crystal apparently likes the song that they write, and
Yeah.
they're like, yay! Tuesday celebrates Carol's birthday with like a cute crystal ball thing. It's very
Where
adorable.
did she find a keyboard snow globe? What the fuck?
I don't know.
That's so precise.
It's like a red one too. Like it's like that's pretty precise. Yeah. Maybe she got it like made personally.
Maybe?
I don't know.
But that seems a little pricey.
But they could have shown you that.
I know.
Yeah.
And then Angela goes to the manager for the Grammys, and it's clear like she's not doing well. And she's like, I'm still gonna perform. And throughout this whole thing with Angela, I was just like, in real life, this would not go down like this. They wouldn't just be like, well, you have no managers and no handlers anymore, but okay. Like, there would be more skepticism. Like, people would not just let this happen, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, like, right before Angela's mom dies, it's like the day of the Grammys.
Well, not her mom, technically.
Well, but it's her mom.
It is her
she
mom.
Raised her.
It is actually her mom. Yeah.
Yeah, she admits
It is
that,
not
like,
her biological mother.
But yeah,
is
it
what
wasn't
Leo is
like
saying.
she admits to Angela that like she's not her biological mom, and Angela was given to her by someone, but that she always loved her. And then she dies like right before the Grammys on the day of the. I'm like, dude, no, that's some soap opera bullshit.
Selling
and then
the
also,
drama a little heavy there.
and also like no Grammys manager is gonna be like, well, her mom died 3 hours ago. Let her go on. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, no.
I don't know.
kinda
I'm
ridiculous.
just saying that's not real life. They actually make fun of Valerie
I mean,
at
okay,
the Grammys.
You say
Okay, go on.
that, but like professional athletes will like play in games when their parents just died and stuff. Like it happens all the time. And like it's usually their choice though.
But they usually have their like management there to make that judgment call. They're not like by themselves in the middle of a PR disaster.
No, typically not.
No,
I think
Angela's
if-
life has just fucking come crumbling down
I mean,
around
if
her.
it was
It's
just
bad.
her mom dying, maybe. But like her whole like management quit. She has no, but like there's no way. I'm just saying, there's no way. They actually make fun of Valerie like at the Grammys when they're announcing everything, which was interesting. And I wonder how that feels for Tuesday, like waiting to do her song.
Oh, they didn't touch on that at all.
It has to be weird for her.
Yeah.
Well, I think they've shown that Tuesday is kind of opposed to her mom's.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but it's still
Views.
your mom, and they're still making fun of her, and you're still about to perform.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, backstage they prepare just in case Angela doesn't show because they haven't heard shit from her. And Carole and Tuesday go first, and the song with Crystal is called After the Fire, and it's like okay. I wasn't loving it. I felt like as the series is like closing, they have less good songs. They're just okay songs.
Yeah, the first half I love so much more, and like especially this song, like I think it's good, and I think it got the point across, but I don't think it shines as good as the first half of the show's songs do.
I just like
Yeah.
the harmonies of the girls. I think they did really good harmonies in this song, but like it's not like the best song in the show by far, but it's decent.
It's okay.
Mhm.
That's all I'll give it. They kind of skip the rest of the acts. They have a bunch of different artists that are supposed to all be performing. I understand that time is limited, but it was rushed a bit. Like at the very beginning with that contest, they showed every single fucking person, and now we're like, and now it's the Grammys, and we can't see all these people. We ran out of time.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I wish that's how the real Grammys worked.
Yeah, honestly. Like, can we skip Ariana Grande this year, please? Thank you. Sorry,
But yeah.
Ariana Grande fans.
But yeah, so I don't know. They are announcing who wins. It's Angela. She shows up to do her song after they've announced she's won. She's just fucked. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Her song compared to Carole and Tuesday's and Crystal's
No,
is
it was
like
better. It was a better song.
It's in like a very steep contrast from one and another.
Oh yeah.
Like hers is so sad and the other ones are so positive.
Yes.
And I liked that. I thought
I
that
found
was
this really interesting because, like, you see, like, the people reacting in the crowd. Like, you see it with Carole and Tuesday's performance, too, and it's usually just, like, Gus and Roddy and then, like, Ertigun, like, smiling or whatever, like, or just, like, reacting, like, nicely. Then with Angela's performance, everybody's like, oh, my God. First of all, she looks terrible. And I think that's the thing most people are reacting to, that she looks really off. But I think you could also read it as them reacting to, like, this bubbly pop star who's super confident singing this, like, dark, cold, lonely ballad.
An all black dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that right before she went on. She's like, it was Mom's dream. Like, I have to do it. And the song was, like, very emotional. I almost wonder if she just wrote that day.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it was good. It was
like,
sad.
I'm all alone. Yeah, like, yeah, everybody's, like, left me.
It was the best song.
Oh yeah, I think this is like one of my favorite songs of the show. Like, and like I know they're trying to make her voice sound like a little croaky, like but like she sounds great. I think she gives a really good performance, and then she collapses.
Yeah, like as she's finishing it, she's like, "And now I'll collapse and die," and she just like collapses, and they take her to the hospital, and like the way they fade out with her like getting taken to the hospital is very. It reminds me of that Britney Spears song that she did so long ago. You know which one I'm talking about? Where she like pretends that she dies and gets taken by the hospital and then taken.
Shit, I don't remember which one that was. Damn.
It's like, notice me, take my hand, something.
I think this was like after I stopped paying attention to Britney Spears.
Yeah, it was like one of her only sad songs.
Yeah.
Like
the only thing I know about Britney Spears is "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time," and then just basically nothing after that.
But no, she did. She had a song very similar with like a fade out in it. It reminded me of that music video.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good fade out of the episode, and I'm just like, well, she may die. I don't know.
My friends who I was group watching this show with for like the entire week after this episode were like, can't believe Angela died, Bcom. Your favorite died. I can't believe they just killed her off. And I'm like, she's not dead. She's clearly going to be okay.
I mean, they show her like going in and out. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like they're not going to kill Angela off. That would be fucked. It's not happening.
That would be weird. If they killed her off, that would just be a weird choice, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, no, I just really, I liked, like Leo said, the contrast between the two of their performances. Because, like, yeah, Carole and Tuesdays was like, yeah, future of the world, there's a light in the darkness, blah, blah, blah. And then Angela's like, I'm going to actually sing a non-AI song. And it's going to be really fucking uncomfortable for all of you to listen to. And then I'm going to collapse.
In front of you.
Like, and if I had to compare, like, or figure out a reason why they chose Just Like Heaven by The Cure, it's like, it's kind of a love song, but it's like about, like, there's like all these lyrics about like being alone and like this restless sea of your mind. And it's like, it's clearly about Angela. It's not about Carole and Tuesday. So, good stuff.
I really like the way the episode ended. I'm excited. I just wish there was more of it.
Okay. Fair.
Was there only 2 more?
I know. I'm
2 more.
Sad. Don't remind me.
We only have 2 more episodes this season. So we're getting to the end.
Yeah.
Finally.
I don't know. This has been a good season.
I think it's been pretty good, yeah.
Astra, yeah. I mean, Vinland Saga.
Finland's good, yeah.
We have Dumbbells. We've loved Dumbbells for the most part.
I have totally suffered through Given, though.
I think it's gotten much better, but I also think, like Kat is saying, it has a lot of stuff to do in the last episode.
Carole and Tuesday has been amazing. Like, I mean, this is not a bad season.
Everything has been great. It's just Given has just been my downfall.
You're a brat. You're.
For me, there's like nothing that that we're covering that I'm like, oh, this sucks. So yeah,
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm happy.
Strictly the second half, first half.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Leo, take us out. Let's finish this off.
It's you.
No, it's not.
You didn't change it. You let
you're
the
right. I
episode
didn't
you
change it
lead
in the
it out.
document. I'll do my
change
best.
it for you.
So petty. So petty.
Thank y'all for listening. Remember to like, follow, and this is my like Texas Leo. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube.
I'm from Indiana.
You're from Texas now. To get updates on new podcasts or videos, you can also rodeo up some podcasts on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. And follow us down at the barbecue at Austin Avenue and 35th Street, where we're on Twitter at Nerdom and Other for updates as well. Come hang out on our Discord with the link in the description. We'll wrestle up some fun conversations for y'all. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Whatever. Later.
Y'all come back now.
Fucking Leo, that'll teach you.